Republican State Representative Glenn Rogers of Grayford, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. So I wanted to get your reaction to this billboard that was placed around your House district by the Defend Texas Liberty PAC, saying that you voted to impeach Ken Paxton along with 20 or 60 Democrats. What's your reaction to that?
Well, I think it's great. We've got a lot of positive feedback from that. My Our voters are smart enough to read to see through that. It's a half truth. Obviously, when you say 60 Democrats, there were 60 Republicans. Over 70% of Republicans voted the same way I did. So they conveniently left that fact off. But our voters are smart enough to see that. So and really, it's an insult to our voters to put that kind of half truth up on a billboard.
So you said that you had positive reaction to that. What did voters tell you? Did they agree with your vote?
We it's a very divided issue. There are a number of people, obviously, that are upset about the impeachment, and I can understand that because Ken Paxton has done a lot for Texas. He's fought back against some of the liberal Biden policies, which I agree with. But ultimately, we have to look at, is there enough evidence to move this case forward? And those that are responding to me are mostly in agreement with my position, but there are certainly some that aren't. And initially, we had a lot of negative phone calls to our Austin office, and people were very upset. And usually, when people are reasonable and I talk to them about why we made that decision, they seem to understand, not necessarily agree, but they understand that I took the information that I had and made the best decision possible, and what I feel like was the right decision. So,
And for you, it was about the nature of the accusations and deciding that it's best for the state Senate to hear all the evidence.
the evidence that was presented to the House was very compelling, and that's what I based my decision on, as well as the Republicans that voted with me. We based our decision on that there was enough evidence, just like a grand jury would do, to move this case to the Senate for trial. We did not convict Ken Paxton. We merely said there was enough evidence to move this case to trial in the Senate. And interestingly, when I talked to my colleagues who voted against the impeachment, I have yet to talk to one who felt like he was innocent, and that's why they made the decision. It was just there was some concern about the process, and maybe there needed to be a little bit more time. But not no one that I talked to felt like that he was innocent, and that's why they made that decision.
Why do you think you are the first lawmaker to have a billboard placed up in your district?
Oh, I'm honored. I guess I have a target on my back. The Defend Texas Liberty is 90% is paid for by Tim Dunn and Ferris Wilkes, and they have a history of running against me, spending a lot of money against me. In my first campaign, I ran against Ferris Wilkes' son-in-law, John Francis, and we won that race, even though we were greatly outmanned and greatly outspent. And I think they don't like that, the fact that I won that race. And then the last year, the last session, the same thing. They spent a lot of money trying to defeat me, helping Mike Alcott in that race. We think they spent over $2 million against us in that race. We don't have exact figures because they're not required by the Ethics Commission to report if they don't. If they put money in a race and it's all negative, then they don't have to specify how much money was spent in a particular race, only how much money they spent in the entire election cycle. So,
Do you have an opponent already for the next session?
I do, yes, and we have
And
one.
you think that
We have one that's announced. One candidate has announced as an opponent. Yes.
You broke up a little bit there. Do you think that the fact that you have people running against you is a result of your impeachment vote?
Well, the candidate that has announced so far in his statement about why he decided to run, he did mention the Paxton impeachment is one of the reasons for his decision to run. So yes, it would have an impact.
And my last question to you is, and I appreciate your time, Representative. We've also seen the creation of a website by Dr. Stephen Hotze of Houston, where he's urging people, supporters, to call the Texas senators, particularly the Republicans, and have them acquit Ken Paxton. And then there have also been resolutions passed by the Texas GOP and various county GOPs condemning this impeachment. What do you make of that?
Well, I think it's unfortunate that that is happening. Um, I disagree with that position. I think time will show that uh, that was not the right decision to make. The not that that was not the right side to be on. Um, but we'll see how it turns out. Um, I know that in my particular case, I looked at the evidence and I voted the way I felt was the right way to vote based on the evidence that was presented. And if I had that option to do 1,000 more times, I would take the same vote. So I feel very comfortable about the vote I took. It was a very difficult vote. We did not. I was not looking to try to impeach our attorney general, but the evidence that was presented was very compelling. And that's why we voted to move it to the next level. As far as any resolutions that are going on or any websites that have been created, I really have no comment.